Hello, this week coronavirus restrictions ramp up. Essex moves into the next level, to Tier 2, and mixing indoors there is now banned. But can the hospitality industry hang on? Hello, thanks for being with us. On the programme this week, a sharp rise in unemployment. Hospitality industries like the wedding sector have been hit hard by lockdown.
I think we might be laying some people off temporarily or reducing their normal hours, I think, just to support us through the winter.
The Labour leader tells us not enough is being done to save jobs.
Very many of the businesses that are struggling are viable, well-run businesses that just can't operate under the restrictions. So, as it were, through no fault of their own, they're going under.
And is Black History Month sending the right message?
I think politically we need our ministers to put into schools something from a historical perspective.
Now, I'm sure most of us know that it's Black History Month, an annual celebration of the achievements and culture of people of African and Caribbean descent. Of course, that's been in the spotlight this year with the Black Lives Matter movement. In the Brunch Bunch this week, Amelia Reynolds has been to Great Yarmouth.
We're here in Cafe 63 in Great Yarmouth and we're talking about Black History Month. With me, Rosie and Nev. Rosie, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I grew up near Great Yarmouth and I'm 22. I'm a dancer and choreographer and activist, and I now live in Ipswich where I teach dance of lots of different genres.
And Nev, tell me about you.
I was brought up in Ipswich and moved to Great Yarmouth about 30 years ago. I now run a community radio station in Great Yarmouth, which is doing very, very well, called Harbour Radio.
So Nev, when it comes to Black History Month, is that something that you celebrate? Is it something that you think is helpful?
It's not helpful at all. I do believe that we should end the Black History Month because basically I don't see the point of having one specific month when we're just talking about Black history, when no one, in my opinion, they're not paying attention at all. We only have to look back at the last kind of like 3 to 4 months to see exactly that history has made no difference. Black history has made no difference to anyone whatsoever.
Rosie, do you agree with that? Because I know you take part in events and, you know, you want people to be aware of Black history. So what do you think?
Yeah, well, I think one thing to note is that the stuff I do for Black History Month, I do all year round anyway, so it's not concentrated in one month. However, because it does exist, I can use it as a platform to educate people and get my message across.
Yeah, you mentioned educate. Do you think that's the key? If Black history was taught and part of the national curriculum, would that go some way to making things better?
Yeah, I think so. I went to a school that was predominantly white, and I was speaking to my friends from school yesterday, and they were marvelling about how we just learnt about the Tudors, and we learnt so much about that, and there was nothing about Black history at all. If there was anything, it was like a little bit about how they were slaves once.
Talking about Black History Month, do you have a black hero?
The biggest black hero in the world is my father, was my father. He was an amazing man, invited to the United Kingdom in the late 50s to come in, rebuild the empire after the Second World War. He was a hero because he had to endure a lot of racism. He had a hard time. It was very, very difficult. I think when a question like that is asked, I think immediately the response should be, oh yeah, you know, Muhammad Ali or, you know, Usain Bolt or one of these. They're heroes in their own right, but, you know, to look closer to home, I think you have to look at where your roots come from, and they are your heroes.
What's your take on the whole Black Lives Matter movement that we've seen?
I think it's become a bad thing. There's a lot of negative connotations with it, and I think people want to just kind of point fingers and make it, you know, a really big thing that we're trying to get more opportunities for ourselves, and it's favouritism.
It's uneducational, and they need to look at that. And we mustn't get caught up in the American thing. We must concentrate on where we are in the UK.
OK, so talk to me about what life is like for you here in Great Yarmouth. Do you encounter racism?
There are stories I could tell you which are really, really hurtful. I get used to it because I've been here now nearly 30 years. There are people that still shout things out in the street, and it is still here. I think politically we need our ministers to put into schools something from a historical perspective so that they can understand, so that the children automatically, it becomes natural.
I think that politicians themselves are they're in their own bubble because of the position that they're in, and I don't think that they take their own recognition of the privilege that they have, which is hard when it's your own. They need to look into themselves, have guidance and say, okay, these are the benefits that I have. I can see a lot of people don't have that. How can we change the story so that everyone's a little bit more even?
Big NeVv.